So, if you've been anywhere near an internet connection over the past month or so, I'm sure you've heard a few things about the Order 1886, a new third person shooter set in an alternate reality England in 1886. The main thing people say is how short this game is, and after finishing it, honestly, it didn't feel that short. Maybe it's because I played it over the span of 4 days, playing it about an hour or two every day, but the game's length felt fine to me. If a million people didn't tell me the game was short, I wouldn't have even noticed, honestly. My problem with the Order really wasn't the length, it was how linear it is. It's probably one of the most linear games I've ever played. I've literally never gotten lost in the Order. It felt like you were playing on the set of a movie. There are all these doors and all these open environments, but that's all just drawn on. They're just props. There's only one place to go, and that's where the director decided you go before you started the scene. The Order is a kind of bittersweet game. Every time it opens a door, it closes a window. The graphics are clearly just groundbreaking. I mean, The Order is one of the best looking new gen games I've ever played. There's so much detail in the environment, it's baffling how much time the artists must have spent putting the finishing touches on every single part of this game. The gameplay can, for the most part, be divided into three different parts. There are these cover-based, third-person shooting gunfights you have. There are a lot of quick-time events in between these cover-based, third-person shooting gameplay aspects. And then there's also a few parts of the game where you're stealthing around and killing people as you sneak up behind them or shooting them quietly with a crossbow. But again, The Order is the kind of game that opens a door and closes a window. While there's an okay selection of different gameplay types, the platforming gameplay, if it can be called gameplay in The Order, is absolutely laughable. I've played more engaging jumping and climbing mechanics in point-and-click adventure games. This is the least exciting climbing and jumping physics I've ever experienced. They're not broken, they're just so boring. You just stand in front of a ledge, press a button, and you're on to the next ledge. It doesn't feel like you're performing deadly stunts. You never feel in danger because it just works every time. It's like Sex Panther. It works 60% of the time, every time. The platforming parts of this game take absolutely no skill, and they're literally just busy work. And if they're that, why even have them in the game? Why not just have the platforming be, I don't know, a cutscene? Out of the three main gameplay aspects, the cover-based third-person shooting is probably going to be 70 or 80% of the actual gameplay. The controls are fine and you have a good selection of weapons, but it can get pretty easy. It's basically shoot until you're hurt, duck behind cover, rest up a little bit, rinse and repeat. If you're well fortified behind solid cover and you have pretty good timing, most of this game's gunfights will be a breeze until like literally the end. I think where the Order 1886 really shines is the story. It's very cinematic and grand. It's just a really great story for a video game. Not to spoil too much of the story, but it's basically a steampunky type of world in an alternate reality England where you're playing as a knight whose main objective in life is basically to stop werewolves. Well, not werewolves, but half-breeds who can turn from human to werewolf. Come to think of it, I mean, they can pretty much live among people. I mean, as long as they're not breaking any laws, they can be productive members of society. I don't know what the big deal is. You're just playing as a racist, basically. No child of mine is going to school with a canine for a teacher. It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Lassie, damn it. The Order is basically a great-looking game with a great story, okay gameplay, and it's worth a rent. It gets an official Stan Birdman rating of, I don't know, let's say a 7.3 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.
Fuck. Izzy, we have a problem.